There are moments in human history when the noise of the world grows so loud that people begin to feel something deep inside their spirit whispering that change is near. Many people watching this video today have been sensing that feeling for months, maybe even years. You may not be able to explain it clearly to the people around you, but something inside you knows that humanity is approaching a profound turning point, a moment where hidden truths slowly begin to rise to the surface, a moment where the illusion that once controlled the collective mind begins to weaken. And according to the messages being shared by many spiritual channels around the world, this is exactly the time we are entering now. Not a time of fear, not a time of chaos, but a time of awakening. Today, we are going to explore a message that many believe comes from a higher level of consciousness known as the Ashtar Command. Now, before we begin, it is important to remember something. Messages like these are not meant to be accepted blindly. They are invitations. Invitations to reflect. Invitations to think deeply. Invitations to explore the possibility that human consciousness may be expanding into something far greater than we once believed. And according to this message, the reason many people feel restless right now is because humanity is entering a new energetic phase that has never happened before in our modern era. For thousands of years, human civilization has moved through repeating cycles. Cycles of growth, cycles of conflict, cycles of control, and cycles of awakening. But what makes this moment different is that more people than ever before are beginning to question the old systems that once seemed permanent. People are questioning institutions. People are questioning narratives. People are questioning the very structure of reality itself. And from a spiritual perspective, this questioning is not a problem. It is a signal. A signal that the human mind is beginning to wake up from patterns that have existed for generations. According to the Ashtar message, one of the most important things happening right now is something called energetic alignment. Now, this is not about a physical event. It is about a shift within human consciousness. For a long time, the world operated through systems built on fear, competition, and survival. But as consciousness evolves, more people are starting to feel drawn toward cooperation, empathy, and unity. This shift may appear subtle on the surface, but its long-term impact could reshape the direction of human civilization. Many people watching this video may already feel it in their daily lives. You may notice that certain conversations no longer resonate with you the way they once did. You may find yourself stepping away from negativity, drama, or constant conflict, and you may feel a stronger desire to search for deeper meaning in life. According to spiritual teachings connected to the Ashtar Command, this is not accidental. It is part of what they describe as a gradual awakening process, not an overnight transformation, but a slow expansion of awareness happening across the planet. Now here is where the message becomes especially interesting, because according to this perspective, humanity has been slowly preparing for this shift for decades. Every generation has contributed something to this process. The technological revolution connected humanity in ways that were impossible in the past. The internet allowed ideas to spread instantly across the world. And now, for the first time in history, millions of people can share spiritual perspectives, questions, and experiences with each other in real time. This global exchange of ideas is accelerating something powerful: awareness. The awareness that humanity may not be as isolated as we once believed. And this is where the message from Ashtar becomes especially intriguing. According to the teachings often associated with the Ashtar Command, Earth has never been completely alone in the universe. Many advanced civilizations are believed to exist beyond our current understanding. But rather than intervening directly in human affairs, these civilizations are said to observe and support the development of consciousness from a distance. Why? Because growth must come from within. Humanity must choose its own path. And right now, that choice is becoming clearer than ever before. One path continues the old systems of division, control, and conflict. The other path leads toward awareness, cooperation, and sovereignty of consciousness. And according to this message, more people than ever are beginning to move toward that second path. But here is something important to understand. Awakening does not mean escaping reality. It does not mean abandoning the world. Instead, it means seeing the world more clearly, seeing how systems influence perception, seeing how narratives shape belief, seeing how fear can be used to control attention. And once people begin to see these patterns, something powerful happens. The illusion begins to weaken, not through confrontation, but through awareness. Because awareness dissolves illusion naturally. Think about it. If someone suddenly realizes they have been watching a movie, they stop reacting emotionally to every scene. They begin observing the story instead of being trapped inside it. Many spiritual teachers describe awakening in exactly the same way. Humanity is slowly stepping back from the screen of old narratives and beginning to observe the bigger picture. And according to the Ashtar message, this shift in perspective is exactly what prepares humanity for the next stage of its evolution. But here is the surprising part. The next stage is not about technology. It is not about politics. And it is not about external power. The next stage is about consciousness. For centuries, human civilization has focused primarily on external development. We built cities. We built machines. We built systems of governance and economy. But the development of inner awareness has often been neglected. Now that imbalance is beginning to correct itself. Meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection are becoming more common around the world. People are searching for inner clarity instead of only external success. And according to the Ashtar perspective, this shift is extremely important. Because when enough individuals develop inner awareness, the collective consciousness of the planet begins to change. And once collective consciousness reaches a certain level of awareness, entirely new possibilities can emerge. Possibilities that once seemed impossible. Now many people ask a natural question. If such a shift is happening, why does the world still appear so chaotic? Why do we still see conflict, division, and uncertainty? According to the message, this is actually part of the transition. Whenever old systems begin to lose their influence, they often become louder and more aggressive for a short period of time. But that does not mean they are becoming stronger. Sometimes it means they are being exposed. History shows us that major transformations often appear chaotic in the beginning. But once the dust settles, humanity usually emerges with greater awareness and resilience. And according to this message, the current period of uncertainty may be preparing humanity for something very important. A new understanding of its own potential. Because for a long time, humans have been taught to see themselves as limited. Limited by circumstance. Limited by authority. Limited by the belief that change is impossible. But what happens when millions of people begin to question those limitations? What happens when people realize that consciousness itself may be far more powerful than they were taught? This is where the concept of sovereignty becomes important. Spiritual sovereignty does not mean rejecting society. It means reclaiming ownership of your own awareness, your thoughts, your beliefs, your perception of reality. And according to the message attributed to Ashtar, this is exactly what humanity is beginning to rediscover. The power of conscious awareness. Now here is something many viewers may find fascinating. Around the world, people from completely different cultures have been describing similar experiences. Heightened intuition, stronger emotional sensitivity, a growing desire for truth and authenticity. These experiences are being reported by people who have never met each other, and yet their descriptions often sound remarkably similar. Many spiritual researchers believe this may be a sign of collective awakening, not a single event, but a gradual expansion of perception happening across humanity. Now, does this mean everything will suddenly change tomorrow? No. Evolution rarely happens overnight, but small shifts can create massive changes over time. And according to the message we are discussing today, humanity may already be further along this path than most people realize. The seeds of transformation have already been planted, and those seeds are growing quietly inside the minds of millions of people around the world. People who are beginning to question, people who are beginning to observe, people who are beginning to awaken. And if this message resonates with you, it may simply mean that you are one of those individuals who feels that inner shift beginning. Not because someone told you to believe it, but because something inside your awareness recognizes the possibility. A possibility that humanity is moving toward a more conscious future. A future where awareness replaces fear. A future where cooperation replaces division. And a future where individuals reclaim their own inner authority. The message attributed to Ashtar ends with a simple but powerful reminder. Humanity does not need to wait for external saviors. The real transformation begins within each individual. Every time someone chooses awareness over fear, every time someone chooses understanding over division, and every time someone questions old narratives in search of deeper truth, a small shift occurs. And when millions of those small shifts happen together, something extraordinary becomes possible. Not because it was forced, but because humanity chose to evolve. The question is no longer whether change is coming. The question is how we choose to participate in that change. And perhaps that is the most important message of all.